time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey, guys. Welcome back and happy Thursday. Friday. Oh my gosh, it's Friday. Oh, I love Fridays. How did I forget that it was Friday? I don't know. Guys, I had my espresso this morning. I got into my vibe. I took my bath. I got like the shit ready together. This is a good Friday, and this video is not getting taken down, okay? We're not going to be playing any Peacock trailers for any Below Deck anymore, so don't worry. This will be an accessible video after we get off of here. Guys, I captioned this or put for the title of this legal updates because we have a lot going on. We have legal updates in OC, New Jersey, Beverly Hills, and of course, Salt Lake City. Plus, we found another Salt Lake City potential housewife. Yes, better believe in the words of Lisa Rinna, I'm going to talk about it. Now, in the meantime, oh gosh, I feel like, you know what's so funny? Well, I can't talk about that because I don't know if they're watching. Let's jump right in. Before we jump right in, I do want to just start off. I dropped the call-in link and I pinned it to the top of the live chat. So if you guys want to join the panel, you are more than welcome to. And also, don't forget it's a subscribers-only live chat. So if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to smash that like button. Over 100 people in the room. Let's do the damn thing. Okay. I want to start with this. Hold on. Where are you? Okay. So we found out that there is another potential housewife filming thanks to Reality Dude. Jen and Heather were filming with new housewife Angie K for season 3 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Obviously, they're probably testing this woman, and we knew for a long time that they would be testing different people. We just didn't know who they were going to be. We've already named one other person, but it makes sense because if you think about it, there's Jen Shah, Heather Gay, Whitney Rose, Lisa Barlow, Meredith Marks, and now we have these other 2 newbies, so that's 7. I'm guessing they're testing one more, and the fact that Angie Harrington wasn't able to give me an interview, I have a feeling that she would be also tested again. But I do want to go ahead and bring up, where is it? Let me go ahead and bring up her profile because I want to show it to you guys. My cat is meowing in the background. Shut up! I'm just kidding. Okay, here she is. You can find her on Instagram, acat, SANEVAS. It looks like she's the owner and founder of Lunatic. I thought earlier it said, I thought it said something else. French Salons, but you can see her here. This is her and her daughter. She's really pretty. This is her right here. I just want to know the personality behind her though. But it looks like she kind of gives me Mob Wives vibes. And I'm not mad at it. If you look at it, you know, she's obviously, she parties. She's, looks like kind of a diva in her own way. Okay. We'll keep you around, I think. She kind of gives me Lisa Barlow vibes too. And she has a hot husband. All right. I'm not mad. Now, again, before we end up bringing up some callers, I do want to start off since we're talking about Salt Lake City. I see Georgia Carolina in the room, Krista Marie, Philly Diva. Hi. Good morning. 200 people in the room already. We're going to start off with this. And I've been getting a lot of shit about this, but I don't care because I was talking to you guys and telling you guys, you know, I watched the Inventing Anna series on Netflix. And I thought it was interesting because the person who was representing Anna Delvey or Anna Sorokin, this girl literally in her 20s, if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it on Netflix. It's so good. She literally tricked everybody into thinking that she was a German heiress, introduced herself into like the socialite world, met some of the top dogs in New York City, whether they were architects, like people who ran the banks, people who were responsible for the loans, and almost secured a $40 million loan for something called the Annie Delvey Project, which was, or foundation, which was something pretty similar to Soho House. And when her lawyer was defending her, he said to the jury, you know what? It's not my job to prove that she is innocent without, you know, reasonable doubt or whatever the case is. It's your job to prove that she is guilty without a reason of, what is it? It's doubt, something like that. Anyways, I want to get into this because Ronald Richards is at it again. All right. So I can even zoom in a little bit. So he posted this on February 15th, and he said, here is the latest on the real Jen Shah. Her proposed questions to the jury are like nothing we have ever seen. This is a New York jury. She is not an A-list celebrity that we all know. Way too much disclosure about her and way too presumptuous. He continued on with update on Jen Shah. The government is now seeking to admit evidence on how the real Jen Shah spent the money, hid the money, paid for the fraud scheme, failed to declare the revenue to the IRS, and worst of all, she was not Shah amazing. She was basically broke and needed fraud money to live. Hold on, it keeps going. Meanwhile, Jen Shah does not want the jury to hear she subpoenaed perjury, Stuart Smith. She threatened Smith. She used the corp credit card. She concealed her foreign bank accounts or cheated on her taxes. But best of all, no housewives clips. Take note, Erika Jayne, it's coming in. He keeps going. Update on the real Jen Shah jury issue. The government has opposed her attempts to tell the jury about her religions, being Mormon or Muslim. Cheap attempt to find a juror who may be biased in her favor. Also, the charge punishes crimes for people over 55 years old, not old people. It keeps going. Well, this is the Erika Girardi one, which we'll get into in a little bit. I'm not going to lie, for the Jen Shah thing, now I'm seeing where they're saying that she doesn't want to have the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City clips played. And I could understand why you would not want those clips played. But after talking to Emily D. Baker, she said this is definitely going to be something that they look into. They're going to see how she acted on screen, how she portrayed herself. And Jen Shah can easily do the same thing that Erika could do, which is go on stand and say, this is a TV show. This is not me in real life. This is how I portray myself on a TV show. It's supposed to be theatrical. It's supposed to be this kind of, big reaction. We're trying to create something that gets ratings and has a storyline. So I don't know if the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City clips could necessarily be used against her, except for the simple fact that you see Stuart Smith in a lot of the clips, and they might just use that saying, well, you guys were together a lot. But I want to ask your opinions on this. We know that Jen Shah is going to trial in March as long as the two other cases before her are not pushed back. Her original court date was October. That got pushed back due to lack of courtrooms, and it easily could get pushed back again. Right now, they're trying to find a jury, but in trying to find a jury, they want to make sure that nobody has seen the show, that nobody is biased against the Muslim or Mormon religion. Nobody is against the fact that, she is a woman of color. Nobody, the jury questions, there's a lot to weed out the jury. And they wanted to make sure that they haven't seen the ABC Hulu documentary, obviously The Housewife or whatever, Shah, I don't even know anymore. Let's go ahead and bring up some callers. This is kind of exhausting to me talking about the legal stuff with Jen Shah because I want to know what's happening, but then I feel so bad because I see social media and people ripping into her kids and talking about her kids. And I'm like, that's so shitty. Especially when it has nothing to do with you can't go after somebody's family. And I still kind of stand by well, it's interesting to me. Every other co-defendant has pled or changed their plea to guilty. Some of them have even been sentenced with prison time. And Jen Shah is maintaining her innocence, saying, I did not do this. I'm not going to go down with these people. I'm going to trial to fight to the very end. But the crazy part about this is everybody who's flipped and pled guilty, and after talking to Ronald Richards and Emily D. Baker, most likely they will be taking the stand, pointing their fingers at Jen Shah as a part of their plea deal. She's going to have to watch every single one of them come up and testify against her. This to be a fly on that wall. Let's go ahead and bring up some callers. Good morning.
Good morning, Ting.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so I know we have some opinions. I think we should go into this with grace because I know the housewives watch. And also, I think, and I'm not going to lie, maybe it's just me, but I'm watching what people are saying to Jen's family on on Twitter and social media. My heart really breaks for her sons. It really does.
100%.
And seeing how people are just like, I think everybody's so quick to convict her because they think, it's the Southern District of New York and they're coming with over 1 million pages of evidence and documents against her. So they're like, she has to be guilty or else the Southern District of New York would not even pursue this case. So I think that's the frame of mind that everybody's in. A lot of people, most people. But
98%.
Innocent until proven guilty. Does that not apply?
Well, who are you gonna go first, Georgia?
See, it is guilty until proven innocent, but that
You
is
mean
in the
innocent
court of
until proven
law.
guilty?
Well,
That's not
yeah, that. Yeah,
well.
that. Sorry,
So
but in the court of law, it's you're innocent until proven guilty. But we're talking about the court of public opinion here, not the court of law.
Right.
And in the court of public opinion, if your ass looks guilty, your ass is guilty till we see otherwise. That's not necessarily right, and I'm not advocating for that. I'm just telling you what is. Now, what I don't think is okay is them having anything to say about her family or her children. Like her children don't got nothing to do with this. She wouldn't like this ain't got nothing to do with her family. Don't read her all you want to. There's plenty to read, but do not bring her children into this. They ain't got nothing to do with that. Don't don't try to speak for them, give their opinion some people would tweet like, if I was her kids I'd be so ashamed. Like, that ain't your damn place to say that. Sit down somewhere.
Right.
Like, you need to go and worry about what your damn kids is tweeting. Hell.
Well, and I feel like for her to, I mean, I think that Jen Shah fully anticipates, because she's obviously a strong woman. So I don't want to, like, she probably fully anticipates that she's going to get the backlash and that people are all going to have opinions going into this case. And I'm sure she can see that, but also I think that the hardest part for this is having to watch her kids go to public school, see that all of this is happening. Everybody saying, to her kids, and kids are asses sometimes in high school. They can be evil, and not like kids are asses, but like in high school, it really is a tough environment, especially when your parent is a public figure to whatever degree, and there's something like this that's going on, which is so controversial. I'm sure that there are kids who are like, oh, well, say goodbye to your mom.
Get ready to go to prison.
Yeah,
She ain't gonna be here next
Christmas.
Christmas.
That's why I have compassion for the Judice girls. Like, I'm like,
all you want for Christmas is your mama to come home. Like, y'all gonna go to hell.
I feel for her kids 1,000%, and they have no. But this should make us even look at her even harder, because she put this on them. She did this. She knew this was coming, and she's still doing it.
She's the
court of public opinion is one thing, but you cannot walk into this courtroom and call everybody else, call them all liars. The FBI, all these 3-letter agencies. I mean,
how do you know though? How do you know at the end of the day, like the Michael Aventati case, which Ronald Richards was avidly, going in on, and was like, there's no way he's going to be found innocent. And then boom, here he comes out of it walking away because there was not enough innocent without, is it beyond a reason of a doubt?
My opinion is that the case, yes, beyond a reasonable doubt. My opinion is that the case is going to play out how it's going to play out, one way or the other. That is not for any of us to call, because none of us are jury members. And if you are, please don't comment in the damn chat. It's going to get you put out.
Right.
But either way, whether she's guilty or innocent, whatever mistrial, that still has nothing to do with her children. It has nothing to do with her children. At the end of the day, like, they're dealing with enough. They got to be at home with her while she's dealing with this.
Right.
Like, they don't need to go out to the public school and be dealing with cheering in their assholishness.
Like me and Georgia pointed out, that her kids are dead in her eyes. When they're looking at her and she's trying to have a moment, those kids are dead in their eyes. Like, I don't think it's devastating for them. It's devastating for Coach Shah. I think he's just trying to keep the crazy at bay, because he knows she's going away. Like,
I've been saying this for a while, Jeff.
But you can't say she's going away yet.
Adam, if she's found not guilty, do you know what's going to happen? All those plea deals are null and void, and all those people will go away, because then it says they're liars. So I'm just telling you. Go ahead.
I don't know if that's true. Krista, is that true? Because if they're taking plea deals, that's right. They don't, like, from what Emily said, if they take plea deals, they're not going to sentence. Most of the ones who are part of their plea deal are going to testify against Jen until after Jen's trial, because they want to see how beneficial those testimonies were. But
so in their plea deals, they're saying one thing. And now if anything is proven wrong, a lie, out of line, meaning that if Jennifer Shah is found that she's the one who's telling the truth and they're all lying, Now, doesn't that plea deal is now that those plea deals do not mean, I mean, they're null and void because you're saying Jennifer Shah was the one who was telling the truth. Now they are all lying. So now those plea deals are going to be, you see what I'm saying? Like, right. I'm just, whether that happens or not, it probably would. But that's what I mean. Just think that's how we can say it's, until proven guilty, but.
Well, it's interesting here because Kimberly said you don't get to take back a plea deal. And Marianne said wrong, plea deals are final. But Tinsley's opinion said, but aren't the plea deals contingent on a guilty verdict?
That's why I keep saying, like, this is going to shake out how it's going to shake out. We don't have any details beyond what Ronald Richards is posting on social media, basically.
No jury's going to look at that and say like, he's not guilty. I promise you that.
Well, I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just
until it shakes out and it's written on paper. All of this is speculation and personal opinion. Now, it may be informed opinions, which I advocate for. If you're gonna give an opinion, please let it be informed. Right. But, at the end of the day, like my biggest concern is Omar, her other children, like her family, like all of this stuff, because the way that it's shaking out, it doesn't look good, but miracles have happened. Jesus has walked on water. Water has been turned into wine. So we'll just have to see what happened. Hell, they let OJ off, so who knows what could happen. I don't doubt anything at this point.
Stranger things have happened.
Right. So I'm like, it is what it is. But
now my sister's in the chat and she knows a lot about this stuff. Now she's not taking a plea deal, Shen. Everybody underneath of her took a plea deal. She's still claiming she's going to trial, saying she's not guilty. So there's 12 plea deals underneath of her, plus her assistant, plus the multiple agencies have all kinds of.
And I also want to know too, when when Ronald Richards is saying in this tweet that Jen Shah threatened Stuart Smith and his wife, I want to know, is that something that Stuart Smith said? Is he putting that out there? Like, how would you get this information? Is that part of his plea deal? And now he's trying to say the reason that I did certain things. And they were saying that, as per Ronald Richards, if I got this correctly, that, he was supposed to do a deposition. He lied in his deposition, allegedly, on behalf of Jen, and Jen allegedly threatened him to make him lie. I'm wondering at this point, this is like, if Jordan and I have a conversation off to the side and Jordan, says, Adam told me to lie, this, and this. And I'm like, Jordan is an absolute liar and trying to save herself and is trying to take me down with her in order to get a lesser deal. Now we have to present that to all of you. Whose side do you take? Are you going to believe Jordan or are you going to believe me? Like, they have to, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court. Is there actual text messages proving that, threatenings? Like, if it's just hearsay, that can't even be admissible. If it's something where she's threatening him through text messaging or whatever, like, however, they have to prove that. But that just, hopefully they wouldn't bring that up if they didn't have the proof, I don't think. Right.
Like,
Chris R said,
I would hope though, like, for her, like, mind you, Stu did flip pretty quickly from what I heard, but I would hope that she wouldn't threaten him through communications when she's being indicted for a communications fraud. But, let me just, not make a joke out of her going to federal court. What did Chris say? I'm sorry, Sugar.
Chris said Jen can't get plea deals any longer, that the time has passed.
Yeah.
Ronald Richards commented, because somebody asked him this, one of the people who follow him asked him, can she still change her plea? She can always change her plea if she wanted to, but now since all of the co-defendants have changed their plea to guilty, there wouldn't really be a deal on the table. It would just be you accepting it, and then the court will recognize that they're not wasting time in their opinions going to trial, so then they'll come up with whatever sentence. But for Jen at this point, I get Dooley Scott said Jen is at the top of the pyramid. The government doesn't have a lot of incentive to offer her a plea deal. Jen is the one they were trying to get.
I wish I had sent you the graphic that I saw on Twitter that was basically explaining this, because I saw this a couple days ago where it was like this pyramid posted, and like it was like all the defendants that had like flipped or like taken a plea or changed their then it got down to Jen and Pink at the bottom, and like she's the only one down there by herself, and it's all these people up here above her that have either flipped, changed their plea, pleaded guilty, whatever, waiting for sentencing, got sentenced already, whatever, and it's just one person, and it just looks so like, when you look at it, it's
really bad. I don't know what her defense is going to be. Look at the motions that her defense is filing. They're so outrageous. That just shows you they don't have much to defend. They don't have much of a defense.
Well, and originally the defense too said this is kind of like, no, I don't want to, these weren't their words exactly, but guys, 400 in the room, smash that like button. But originally they were saying something about like, this is almost a witch hunt. You guys gave us 1 million pages of documents that you're saying is documented evidence. There's no way that we have enough time to go through this evidence. It doesn't even, like, this isn't even.
They sent that
even. And the Southern District of New York was like, sorry.
I mean, that's even more like, that's a lot of stuff. I mean, well, then ask for more time. I mean, how much, I mean, everybody has what they need at this point.
They have enough evidence that you can't go through it in a substantial amount of time to go to trial, and within the time frame that they set, that should probably say something to the defense. But once again, I didn't go to law school. I didn't go to Phaedra School of Winning Cases, so I don't know.
I was talking to a family member of mine who has gotten themselves into a little bit of trouble. And, I always sleep on this person. Like, this person is young and they got in the wrong crowd, and now they're trying to get themselves out of stuff. And when I was talking to this person a couple days ago, they were like, Adam, it's this, and this. And I'm like, wow, you have a lot of knowledge. And this person said, when you're fighting for your life, you make sure you learn the damn law. Like, you learn. Right? I was like, you're giving me some Elle Woods vibes right now. You're okay. Okay.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of cell block lawyers out there, but I mean, hell, they always learn it after they get into the situation that they're in. It's like, yeah, maybe you should have learned this before you got yourself locked up, and maybe you wouldn't have kept yourself in there.
Scared straight was a real thing.
God bless.
Scared straight was a real thing. Like it just took one major charge for me to, and then just the threat of, and all the time freedom that I lost, like, for me to just literally not even throw a cigarette out the window at this point. And like I said, my sister's actually here in the chat. Like, her and I, me and her, like the same thing. Like, literally, we are like, we don't throw a cigarette out the window. We went through so much. And like, I understand that she did these things and all that, but like, she's still, what's going to be even worse for her is the judge is watching her antics, and I'm going to make a real example out of her to not make a mockery of my court. Whether the judge says it's she's not supposed to pay attention to this or that, they are going to see what she's doing. They are taking a mental note. They don't, of course they can't use that as their judgment, but that's what humans do. You can lie on your jurors can lie and say they've never seen the show, whatever. That's almost impossible, I would think, at this point, for somebody not to have known the situation and have an opinion, the juror wise.
But if they were able to find, I said the same thing to Emily, and she's like, contrary to what you think, Adam, not everybody watches Housewives.
I guess
they found a jury for OJ, but then sometimes we find jurors who completely lie because they want to be a part of the case, and then they come in and then they open their mouth like a year later, and it's like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. No, we get to retry this case because this person came out, and then that juror who wanted the fame with it, because all of the jurors, imagine, like, especially when it's a highly publicized case, they come out, they write books, they do press interviews. As soon as they're dismissed, if they are dismissed, then they come out and they have like conversation. And it's just like, I don't even know how they get away with half of the shit that they get away with, but they do. I am going to continue this conversation on to another topic. But before we do, because I don't want to just solely focus on Jen. And Philly Diva, I see you in the room too. I'm about to bring you up. Guys, the call-in link is pinned at the top of the live chat. And we are going live at 11 a.m. to recap Real Housewives of Miami. But we have another blind item.
Ooh.
I love these blind items.
I know. Yeah. I'm starting to like them too. I'm blind with
Dumois. Okay, subject to Hills Have Eyes. Message. This Real Housewife was overheard spilling the tea to her husband upon arriving back home from a vacay about a fellow wife recently featured on a blind, and speculate on if the rumor was true. Even though she wasn't mic'd up, there are eyes and ears everywhere, my love. I feel like this is an ominous warning. I can't really decode this.
Okay. The hills have eyes. So
this is obviously Beverly Hills.
It is too early, and that is too much.
That's
with like the Riddler himself wrote that. That was great wording. That was beautiful poetry. But I don't have the.
I say it's Lisa Rinna. Lisa Rinna. She was featured in a blind and speculate on a rumor. She speculates all the time, even though she was mic'd. She wasn't mic'd up there. Eyes and ears everywhere, my love.
I'm guessing it was either Kyle Richards or Lisa Rinna, and they're talking about Dorit Kemsley.
Yes. Dorit or Erika.
And speculate on if the rumor was true. Okay.
Or, I mean, you know, or, well, yeah, I mean, the rumor.
When did they stop filming? They could have been talking about Kathy.
Or Dorit and Pete K because of what has been out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because that kind of was out. That was kind of, Dana was spilling that right around the you know, when all this was going down. And then remember how they said Kathy, you know, had a flip out, a meltdown, and she wanted to go home. But we knew that because of everything that was happening. So when they say that, like, it could have been Kathy trying to cease and assist, we already knew that she was like, help me, get me out of here. They're all nuts. Like,
I was about to say, go back to that. My love being a clue. That is a pretty good clue. That does make me.
This is like the Riddler.
I know. Who talks like that? My love. Oh
Somebody
my God! Absolutely, it's got to be that. It's got to be.
My love is a Dorit phase.
Yes.
Or phrase. Phase. Yes. Where am I?
It's fair.
She must have heard it.
I was like, I woke up this morning and Jason was sleeping, and all of a sudden I turned on the TV and I was like, Cardi B, and Jason's like, I'm sleeping, and I was like, no, we're listening to Bodak Yellow. Rumor.
I love that. When you came on earlier, I was like, yes, all the rumors are true. Go off.
I was checking my camera. Normally I don't have music playing when I check my camera, but I still had it going, and Jason's like, turn it off. I'm sleeping. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay.
Adam, you're like me. My husband hates me in the morning. He's like, I go commercial. There's an animal in the attic. And everybody's all quiet. And then you see me, I'm like, a tornado all over the house.
Oh, this morning, Jason, he's like laying in bed and my alarm went off and it was 8 a.m. And he's like, no. And I was like, it's okay. I said, I'm just going to take a bath, walk the dogs, make sure that the cats and dogs are fed. And then I'm going to run up to Starbucks. And then I have to go by the gas station because I have to get my soda water. And then I have to pull my photos for the video. He's like, fuck off. Get out of here. You have way too much energy. It's like,
dude, I did about all that. I literally did that. I missed all that too. So, but I got up at 4 though. I went tanning, nails, went to my sister's, got home, actually did this, the hair and the makeup, literally. If I get up at 8 o'clock, Adam, that's when you don't see me because I'm like so behind. I'm like trying to catch up. And then by the time I get on, it's like 9:30. I'm like, I know they miss me, but
we always miss you. We always miss you. And by the way, Murray, please hit that like button if you haven't already. Murray hurt her foot.
Oh.
And she sent me photos yesterday. Murray's we've met up with Murray and her husband a couple of times and they are amazing. She'll be coming to the LA show, maybe Nashville. And now she's on crutches and on like a little knee scooter. So Murray, we're sending you all the positive vibes.
I just bought, I'm going to buy a third ticket for New York. Hopefully.
Hey.
Yeah. My best friend, and I'm trying to talk my sister into coming too.
I can't wait to share yesterday. You know, well, we'll do it on Wednesday. Zach, I have a call with Zach today for another surprise, and hopefully we can secure it because I know that some people won't be able to make it, but we have to, it's up to the venues because the venues are so specific. I'm learning so much through this, and like, I didn't realize how many logistics go into securing a venue and how everything has to be on point for them and what they want. And they're not working around you, you're working around them, which I get, but I'm also like, you guys were shut the hell down for 2 years during like a pandemic. Can you not work with somebody a little bit? But Zach also, I don't know. I talked to him and he's like, hi, Adam, how are you? And then I'm guessing, and today I'm going to sit on a call with him and we're talking to one of the venues. I can't wait to hear him in action because I feel like he's like, we want this. This is happening. If it doesn't happen, I'm like, Zach, there's a whole other side to you that I don't know. He's like, bitch, no.
He's a boss bitch. I heard him
he's a boss
with, like, the wine people, and it was like this and this and this, and it's going to be in my lunch parties, this and this, and literally next business day, it was all done. I was like, oh, savage. Holy crap.
All right. So We have another video that I just want to play because I thought it was funny because it's going wild on TikTok. TikTok is not my world, but I know a lot of you guys enjoy TikTok.
Somebody's supposed to teach me TikTok.
I mean, I tried.
Really
I'm like, I can't do it. I got to focus on YouTube. But, you know, Julia Fox was saying that she was a muse for Uncut Gems. And when she did, she was high in this interview. And then everybody ran wild with it because of the way that she said it. Let's just play it.
Okay.
Girl.
This is Kanye's ex, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Allegedly.
I'm so blind.
Right. I was just Safety's News when he wrote Uncut Gems.
Listen.
Uncut
Everybody has it.
Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems.
I was Josh Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Gems.
Right.
Uncut Gems.
I was just Safety's News when he wrote Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems.
Shout out to Brandy and Julie on Juicy Scoop because that was where I first heard that from, and I thought that was just like Brandy making fun of her. I didn't realize that was like a thing.
No, it's definitely a thing. I also saw this, and this isn't Bravo related, but I love the fact that Mark Anthony is trolling the shit out of A-Rod right now because A-Rod came up and said he believes that J-Lo might start to miss what they had together, but she's ready to put him in her rearview mirror. And Mark Anthony's like, no, you fool. You cheating fool. She is not missing anything that you have to offer. So move on with your life and go find Madison LaCroix from Southern Charm. Nobody misses you. I'm like, okay, Mark Anthony, go on. Go on. But I do want to move on to another person. Since we're talking about the legal stuff, we know that Dr. Jen Armstrong has been in multiple lawsuits, malpractice lawsuits all over the board. And now we heard that she is actually selling her home. Well, she's putting it on the market for $5.9 million. She said that her husband eventually did come home after taking some time off, but now she's being sued. Literally, I think she has 2 or 3 lawsuits that we know about. And then there's a whole list of lawsuits that we don't even know about at this point. She was even accused of getting Botox from another country that was not FDA approved. We talked about that on here before. And that's all alleged. Obviously, they would have to prove this in court. And they were saying the Botox was from Korea. And my live chat was like, well, why would it be a problem if it's from Korea? And they were saying, well, it's because it would not be FDA approved right here in the US. That's why it wouldn't be biased to Korea or anything like that. But hold on. We have another situation going on, and I don't know, and I need you guys in the live chat to help us too. Philly Diva, are you here?
I'm here, yeah. I was like the rest of you guys. I'm up in the morning and I'm doing stuff, and yeah, I was driving through one of these little small streets and lost and shit.
No worries. I'm gonna bring this next one up, and then I'm gonna bring you up because there's a little bit of an echo.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this next one up. Erika Girardi. Now, I don't know what this means, and I want to know if you guys. So we know that Erika Girardi has not been charged with anything criminally as of yet. But now she's been named in a new $2.1 million lawsuit for aiding and abetting. Now, aiding and abetting, if you listen to those words, aiding and abetting, do those have criminal charges? Like, can you not just have to pay the $2.1 million back if the court decides you were aiding and abetting, but does that also mean you're looking at time behind bars? Because this is what it says.
Okay, I'm confused.
Legal troubles continue to rain on Erika Jayne in light of her estranged husband's alleged embezzlement activities. Erika and her company, EJ Global LLC, have been slapped with a $2.1 million lawsuit by attorney Manuel H., and another woman named Kathleen, who was his client, who was the mother of late NFL star Chuck Osborne, for allegedly aiding and abetting Tom Girardi and his law firm, Girardi & Keese, according to the legal documents. And they were trying to say that Erika and all of the people who were working in the law firm knew that the money was being taken from the victims and from the clients and put into her accounts, that she was fully aware that this was going on, despite the fact that she has maintained that she did not know anything this entire time. But if they're bringing an aiding and abetting lawsuit
against the money, she was aiding and abetting the money, or
they're saying that the money from when Tom Girardi represented the NFL players, and then also the plane crash victims, and then also Joseph Ruiz Gomez, the burn victims. They're saying that she did know that this money was from the victims and that Tom was moving it around in order to continue to pay for her lavish lifestyle. And now they're trying to prove that, which ultimately would be aiding and abetting if they can't prove it. And so my question was for you guys, everybody in the live chat and you guys, is if they can prove that she was aiding and abetting, which I feel like would have to be really hard unless it's documented in text messages or paper or phone calls that were recorded that she didn't know about.
A diary, a journal.
A diary or a journal. If they can prove it, is she looking at time?
Oh, yeah.
Aiding and abetting? So, because wouldn't Tom Girardi is he not being criminally charged as well?
No, because he has a conservatorship. So technically, since he has
if he wasn't, I'm sorry, if he wasn't under the conservatorship, and was able to stand actual trial, wouldn't there be a criminal case involved with what he has going on as well? So aiding and abetting would basically make you an accomplice to that, which I would assume would result in some sort of criminal action down the road. This is a lawsuit, so it sounds like it's more civil than anything, but I would assume that would go into a criminal state if that can be proved. Mind you, that's hard as hell to prove without like a paper trail of her physically signing documents, and then she would try to question whether she knew what she was signing or not, which would be a moot point because your signature is on the paper, so it doesn't matter what you knew. If you didn't read it before you signed it, that's not the court's problem. So if there's not like a paper trail to trace this money to her, then there's some sort of voice recording her on video. She slipped and said something at a housewives party. Like if y'all can't there's that without a reasonable doubt thing. Like if y'all can't prove this beyond a reasonable doubt that she knew something, then I don't know what y'all got, because that's really hard to prove.
And that's go ahead.
I remember either Emily or Ronald Richard said their way that they're filing the court cases, like they're going to do a bankruptcy first, then this, and then criminal last, because once they prove otherwise, like criminal acts within the IRS or like whatever, the Ponzi and all that they cannot then go to court or go to trial and say, they have more proof now. Like they've already been proven guilty in 2 other courts of law. Like I believe they said they did it this way because once they get to the criminal, they can actually have like if you filed a civil death civil suit against somebody first, and if civilly they're proven the wrongful death suit, and then you take it to criminal trial, most likely that's going to be your that's proof right there that it's
an open and shut.
Yeah, right. So they see, like aiding and abetting, I get confused because I think of it as like holding somebody who's running on a warrant or something like that way. But if they're saying aiding and abetting, like she didn't know, or she did know that he was doing all this, we've been questioning this for like a year or two. So why now are they just finding proof, I guess, maybe?
Well, and that's my thing too. By the way, thank you so much for the super chat. So much smoke where Erika is concerned. When I spoke to Ronald Richards and Emily D. Baker about this, they made a good point. It's really hard to, Jordan, I think that your mic is muted, but it's really hard to actually go after Erika criminally, which they are not right now, unless this aiding and abetting is looking for a criminal charge against her. It's hard to get her criminally when they can't even get the main person who they're going after, who would be Tom Girardi, because he's under a conservatorship, and they cannot criminally go after him because they're claiming that he has Alzheimer's and early dementia. So Ronald and Emily were like, there's no way that, I mean, really, there's always a way, but they wouldn't think that they would be able to criminally go after Erika if they can't even go after the main person who allegedly did all of these crimes.
I mean, they can't, but they can use the same tactic. She's one step under him. You know what I mean? Like, they can use everything they have against him basically for her as well. Of course, you can't go inside of her mind and say, did she absolutely know? Was she turning her head? Do we all believe? I personally believe if she didn't know the whole time, she knew halfway through. His ex-wife stated it in the divorce decree. He does this. He thinks it's funny. So it's not like there wasn't a heads up, that he does these things. So whether she just turned her head or whatever, like, I believe her saying that she signed the tax returns and all that crap, like.
Which is the fact that they even, Stephen Poor, real quick, she's just messy as hell. She's got some skeletons we don't know about. She's just trying to keep the lifestyle that she dreamed of. Kind of sad. Stephen, Thank you so much for the super chat.
She's really under the guys that like, she believes because she might not be able to ever be criminally charged. She doesn't have to act morally correct. She doesn't care like how she's portrayed, because unless she's going to be put into some type of like, you know, and go into court and proving that she's done something wrong, she's kind of like laughing at all us, like, you know, like.
Well,
you know.
Then Kimberly makes a good point too, because another conversation that I've had with, you know, both of our legal experts is after this, what happens with the IRS? And the IRS already suspended, well, the tax board already suspended EJ Global. And now, you know, Kimberly said the IRS doesn't have that burden. This is going to be Erika's downfall. All these other lawsuits are going to pale in comparison to the IRS. And for Erika, in some of her book signings and even in her book, she talks about how, you know, you guys think that I don't know what's going on. She's like, my name's on all of the tax returns, kind of trying to prove like I'm not some trophy wife or some bimbo who doesn't have my eyes on like what's going on and being moved around. But then it's almost telling people like, oh,
well, there's your paper trail right there.
There, and that's, you know, like they said, because Ronald Richards was posting the videos and the screenshots, the photos of her admitting to knowing and signing tax returns.
Look, now that I figured out this picture, I literally can do this whole, I was going to go down a whole rabbit hole and find all the clips and all these things like that just go against everything she said. Yes, I know it's a TV show, but it's like, all right. So why did she file for divorce? Did she ever, what was her actual reason for filing for divorce? Did she leave him?
She said that he was starting to fade out when she would have conversations with him. He wasn't there, and she was watching him kind of just go completely left. He would get angry in conversations and he wouldn't be able to hold conversations. And she was like, you know what, at this point in my life, I can't do it anymore.
Health didn't matter, I guess.
But then literally a week after this all came down, we saw, as we saw in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 11, a week later, it seemed like, or maybe even in the same week, it was like, boom, Tom Girardi investigated for allegedly embezzling millions of dollars from, and it makes you wonder too, because that LA article that Erika said that she had no clue about, which that's what she said. I'm not calling her a liar, but she said, you know, the LA article that came out when they were filming in the Palm Desert, she was like, I didn't know anything about. But the writers of that article have done multiple interviews and they said, hold on, wait a minute. We reached out before we put this article out to her publicist multiple times trying to get a comment. So if they're reaching out to your publicist, bet your ass your publicist is going to let you know that this is, there's something coming.
And it's like, how many, like I say, she didn't file. She did that because he was sick. Well, then you're looking, it's, you know, for sickness and in health, you left him because he was sick. Or, I mean, honestly, she has no.
And she sat here and said on camera that she was going to hold that man's hand until he died. So which one is it?
Right.
Did you know about the stuff that you were signing, or did you not? Like, were you going to hold his hand until he died, or were you going to push him right off that cliff in Pasadena? Like, what, what were you like, what is it?
Yep.
Because the stories keep changing to suit whatever best fits you in the situation that you're trying to defend yourself in. So when you're not trying to look like some dumb housewife, oh, well, I knew everything. I knew what I was signing. My name is on the accounts. But then when you could be implicated in legal action, oh, well, I didn't know nothing, Chad. He was crazy. He fell off. He drove off a cliff in Pasadena. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, you can't sit here and put it in print in your book. Like, it's not like we watched an interview where we said this, which, I mean, we can look it up and find one. But I'm just specifically talking about what you wrote in your book, sis.
Right. And Tinsley's opinion.
So what, you gonna blame the ghostwriter?
It honestly sounds like, which again, not saying this is, I want to be so careful with the way that I word this. I'm not saying that anybody conspiracized or anybody was trying to get out of a crime and they were masterminds of anything. I'm not saying any of that, but I am going to bring up what people have speculated. Tinsley's opinion said, can you imagine Tom sitting up in that luxury assisted living home, rocking in his rocking chair, watching the news like poor little Erika Jayne? Thank you for the super chat. You know, when all of this started coming out, there were so many people, legal experts and people who are in this field, like, this is legitimately the perfect way, the craziest, most cockamamie way to navigate this, but the perfect way to navigate it, because now all of a sudden, when all of this comes out, when you were giving lectures just a couple months before, you were still working, you still had clients, but then now all of a sudden, when this comes out, you have Alzheimer's.
The office while they were filming the last season.
dementia. I mean, but also to be fair, people with Alzheimer's and dementia, they can decline really quick.
Hey,
and
listen.
People from his office said that he was declining.
I also have a problem with people that
for the
noticed
Lifetime
this
movie on that.
around him and didn't say anything. Like she can't. There's a double-edged. She, no matter what, she cannot have any really a moral excuse for leaving him, because what she did was she realized that he had screwed up with the deal. He messed up. Things were coming out. The money's gone. That's why you left him, Erika, because everything you couldn't get him to quit. His brother didn't realize he was pooping himself. Like nobody realized this man was that sick. Like, come on. And then they should
get the brother or
partners.
But yet the brother is the one that files for the conservatorship when it all goes to hell. Like, where were you when the decline was happening? Like you worked with him every day, right? Weren't you in the law office with him every day? Like, you didn't see nothing. Like, not even like him just randomly forgetting something that he usually wouldn't forget. Like there was no implication anywhere. I'm not saying that like a snap, an instant like decline where it's like dramatic change can't happen. But I would think that there would be even the smallest of signs that could be recognized throughout years.
Well,
do you get what I'm saying?
He said he started. Well, first she said his hearing and his sight. I'm sorry, dementia. What did he forget? Did he not hear the phone calls calling for the money they wanted? She had no idea what she was even talking about. But even so, 40 years he's been doing this. The decline is what got him caught, because if he got sick, it's what got him caught. Because he lost his, he wasn't as mastermind as he thought he was. He lost his faculties or whatever, I believe. And then she's like, oh crap, he can't control this. We're screwed. The brother's like, okay, now what? Conservatorship, because he probably did decline. Just say he did decline. He declined in the end. Of course, that's how he got caught, because he couldn't.
If what Erika said on the show is true, nobody was listening to her, which means she had to tell somebody.
Right.
For nobody to listen, right?
And who's not listening?
So who was Erika talking to? Was she talking to the doctors? Was she talking to the law firm? Was she talking to the brother who's now the head of the conservatorship? Was she talking to the son that walked out right after this went down? Was she talking to all of the lawyers that quit right after this broke? Like, who was she talking to that wasn't listening? Because if what she's saying is true, then the whole defense about him just declining out of nowhere kind of goes to hell, doesn't it?
And it goes on them. It honestly should be on them. Because if you're saying this man was that sick, you were literally driving him to work, Erika. He's like driving off of cliffs, and he's going to this, and he's doing these like lectures and stuff. But if he's that sick that he can't even stand trial to answer a question, you're saying he's basically pooping himself. If he was that sick, why were you letting him do all these things that go to court? Just say without, and then they find out this illegal stuff. Come on, like.
Well, and also,
I can't wait to see the American Greed episode on this.
I just feel he committed the perfect crime. He didn't care about her. At the end, he said, "You know what? This is what you get. You blah blah blah. You thought I paid for your life, and you didn't do this or that. Like whatever he thought in his head. He's like he left her with the bag. He left her hanging. He did not."
But it is true too, though. When people do have certain health issues and face stuff like this, like they can have fast declines. So but you also can't take away the fact that there have been multiple claims that have been filed with the board. California, why am I blanking on this? With the California State Bar. There have been so many claims filed with the California State Bar over the last decade and even further back than that, and these were ignored with the State Bar. So I'm curious how I'm curious how all of this is going to play out. But okay.
And Erika said that the decline happened 3 years ago. She noticed that the decline was happening 3 years ago. So 3 years she's been getting ignored and nobody said anything. Like,
who's
a fast decline can happen, but if Erika's saying that a decline started 3 years ago, how fast is that decline? Do you get what I'm saying?
And she's not afraid of big Tom Girardi. Come on, man. They're like, oh, he was controlling her. And because he was controlling her. You get to a point, if he is sick, because you're big bad, you're afraid of big bad Tom Girardi, you just let him continue to do these things. and drive and hurt.
But they all could say the same thing because they worked with him. He was their boss. He was her husband. So he ran the house and he ran the law firm. So like they both could make that same excuse of like, well, we were just doing what we were told. He was the boss. He ran this, he ran that. It's this is the perfect.
I'm going to real quick. I'm going to go ahead and bring up a couple other people with us on this. But, you know, I even did a video and I know I brought this up. Somebody just made a good point. A lot of the things that Erika was saying, especially with the car accidents and the son's car accident, the LA Times writers, so many people looked into that trying to find the police reports for these accidents and they could not find them. But then we know that Andy Cohen went on Watch What Happens Live and he made his mazel of the day. The fact that we should be, you know, we should give this woman some grace because it finally snowed in Pasadena. I remember, Krista, you were on the screen when we talked about it.
But it wasn't snowing when she said it was snowing in Pasadena, so she's still a liar. Shut up.
Irrelevant, Andy. Irrelevant. We said it hasn't snowed since 2019.
It wasn't snowing when she said it was snowing in Pasadena. Nobody said it's never snowed in Pasadena before. Right. It wasn't snowing when she said it was snowing in Pasadena. She's still a liar in that context specifically.
I'm gonna bring up some callers with us. And we're gonna go around the room. And when we do, we'll let everybody talk. That way, people in the live chat don't crucify us. Larja Curbs, I see Philly Diva, and I see Bad and Bougie. Hi, Larja.
Hey, good morning. Happy Friday.
Good morning. Hi, Bad and Bougie.
Everybody else is like that. There. How's everything? Hi, Georgia.
Hello.
Hi,
hey, everybody.
Hi. Good morning.
You know, it's only 7:30. I'm still in bed, so I'm.
7:30?
Yeah, it's 7:30 here.
That's right.
I jumped up. I saw subscriber only. I put my lipstick on and a shirt.
Hey. You look good.
I'm usually still doing my makeup backstage.
Awesome, thanks.
Okay, so I am curious, since this is new, you know, that Erika is being named in this $2.1 million lawsuit, and she's being accused of aiding and abetting. And my question was for the chat and for Jordan and Krista Marie, but also in the live chat, if aiding and abetting, does that have criminal consequences where you could actually spend time in jail? Because this whole time, this has all been civil and nobody's pursuing Erika criminally. She reposted almost like not a celebration, but when Jay Edelson and they pulled this lawsuit out of Chicago, they were like, look, see, but Jay Edelson was like, no, don't celebrate. We're just moving it over to California so it's less expensive.
Well, aiding and abetting is always something they try to get you for on the cop shows. They always run after those kids and they're like, you better tell on so-and-so or us aiding and abetting. So I think it might be kind of serious.
Okay.
Very serious.
I like how she says on the cop shows. Bad and Bougie?
I don't think she's not going to jail. No, she's just aiding. She's aiding. First of all, he's not going to jail. So if the primary person isn't going to jail, then she's definitely not going to jail. There's no debtor prison, so they can't, put her in jail for owing the $2.1 million. So my guess is no. I mean, I remember when they were when the real estate market at its height, and it was all these agents that had like millions of dollars of fraudulent deals that they did, and the most they did was take their license and then put a lien on all their property and stuff for the amount. So my prediction is no, she's not going to jail, and she knows that.
Would it be considered like conspiracy of some type or no? Because
she would be considered a co-conspirator.
The conspirator,
like Jen Shah.
Well, she was
that what Jen Shah is?
Well, yeah, technically they're lumping Jen Shah in a whole fraud ring, so they would all be co-conspirators of this fraud ring.
Right.
That's at least that's what they're going after. Wow. Okay. Gene Welsom, it wasn't snow in Pasadena. It was hail. Big difference. Thank you, Gene Welsom. We appreciate the super chat. Guys, over 550 in the room. Don't forget to smash that like button. I do want to keep this moving. Do you guys remember, because this was a big deal, do you remember on Real Housewives of Orange County when Vicky Gumbelson had that boyfriend Brooks who faked the whole cancer scam?
Yeah.
So Vicky Gumbelson is getting a lot of shit right now because she came out and said that she was diagnosed with cancer, And now she's clarifying that she wasn't formally diagnosed with cancer when she had her full hysterectomy, and she claimed that the initial details were misconstrued. So now people are like, wait, did you just do the same thing? But she did an interview with Jeff Lewis, and she said, listen, I had a full hysterectomy because I had cancer cells in my uterus and my cervix. They took it out, no chemo, no radiation. It wasn't a 2-year battle like they misconstrued. It was 2 years ago. You don't go get a full hysterectomy because you have nothing else to do tomorrow. When I was there for the post-op, so good thing they took it out. We did see cancer cells, but people are going in on Vicki now at this point because they're like, you dropped this story, you did this interview as soon as Steve Lodge broke up with you, and you were using this as like they feel like she was using this as like a Steve Lodge, like, I'm going to put this out there and make him look like an even bigger asshole for leaving me when I had cancer. But now she's saying, I didn't have cancer, I had cancer cells. Do you think it's fair, the backlash that she's getting for this, or no?
The cancer cells.
She's getting a real Kim Zolciak season 1.
I mean, technically, they could have became cancerous if she didn't get that out. So, but I mean, did she? So, like, they're turning it from 2 years ago, and they say she had it for 2 years, and she's pulling this so they make it look like Steve left her when he had cancer. She had cancer when literally it could be he left her because he does not into her any longer. Like, I don't think she would do this and say, "Oh, look, he left me when I had cancer." She clarified it was that, not that. It was like. It's just something. It was 2 years ago, and she wasn't battling this. I mean, did she put the statement out and then take it back, or did somebody just run with it?
Well, she did an interview, and in this interview, she actually said, she had a battle with cancer. And that's why, because of the wording, they're like, hold on, because now she's clarifying because people wanted details, because that's how it works. You're a public figure, and people are just like the Bob Saget stuff. I mean, any public figure, when you claim that you're battling with something, you were in an accident. And this was also a great point. I'm hopping around really quick, but Brian Scott Patterson made a good point. That type of accident would make the news all over LA, which, I mean, a police officer flipping their car, you would think it would make the news all over LA, especially in the snow, and being associated with a public figure.
And he probably has integrity being a police officer.
Somebody driving off of a cliff and having broken bones and head injuries. And
that was
especially somebody who's as famous as Tom
DUI, it was all over the news. So, if Tom Girardi would have flipped off a cliff, it would have been in the news. And there's mysteriously no police reports. Let me tell you something about Vicki. This isn't the first lie that Vicki got caught in. Vicki was fully a part of the lie that her little boyfriend was telling when he said he had cancer. Yeah. And then she just backed out of it when he got caught and said, well, I don't know. But she was fully a part of that. Vicki has been caught in several lies over the years. So it's not that I don't love Vicki. I do. But Vicki's not above a good lie. So let's just keep it real.
And she should have chosen her words way better, considering everything that she went through with Brooks. So she should have not only chosen her words better, but then don't trip when you misspeak after such a valuable lesson. You make up a cancer story and then misspeak about your own personal cancer. Really,
and then blame the people who put the story out like they didn't just put out the words you said.
I mean,
twist Steve.
You're the one that said you had a battle with cancer. They just put it out.
Yeah.
Steve was sleeping with young women in her bed, and it was her. Like, everything she was saying on her perspective. Oh, he did this, and he's worse than Brooks, and I found him in my bed in our home with a younger woman. When really, like, he broke up with her. Maybe he had a little, weekend warriors thing with her. She in her head still thinks they're together. Like, so you mean she's like a 15-year-old that's like, he did this, oh my God, he did this, all this stuff. And it's like, really, it's all true, but you exaggerated it. And you didn't tell us that he broke up with you a year ago. So you're really not together. So she's not above being like dramatic and wanting people to like, feel bad. But I mean, that's a story that she should really have made sure the facts and just what you're saying because of the situation.
And it wasn't even that deep. All she had to do, it wasn't like she had to really pick her words that deeply. I have cancer cells, so I'm going to have a operation to prevent me from developing cancer. Boom. See how quick that was?
Wait,
it wasn't like she
really quick, Bad and Bougie?
Didn't choose her words wisely. She was lying.
Right.
I love how we try to, sugarcoat the lies that they tell. No, it had nothing to do with picking words. Because I have a friend that had the same exact thing. She saw the cancer cells. Guess what? I don't want to take no chances. I'm not trying to have no more kids. Just go ahead and take it because I don't want the chances. That's all it was.
Bad and bougie?
Didn't Steve leave her because he lost the election?
No,
I
he
think
wouldn't be with her. He was
said
with
that
the
he
young,
left her
with the young
over a
chick.
year ago, and that she wouldn't actually accept the fact that he wanted to move on, and he said that it became toxic. Honestly, at the end of the day, he has a new 30-something-year-old woman. She's a teacher. I think she's 37. Her name is Janice, and he is 60. Vicky doesn't understand the relationship, but she doesn't have to. She's not a part of that relationship. She just
this girl's probably simple and quiet and not whooping it up. She's not out there putting him out there on social media. She's not gaslighting him. She's not, this chick's probably, she might have kids. They said that, he left her because he wants to have a family. And no, he doesn't. He had his children. Right. Vicky turns this around. Like, I heard Tamara actually say that he was worse than Brooks on that actual pod. She actually was insinuating that Vicky should have had a harder time getting over Brooks because Steve was such a piece of crap that it should have been easier. Like, I was like, holy crap. Like,
Vicky should have stayed with Don. She got famous and thought she was too good for Don. And Don was too boring. So I want some young, exciting men. And she got all these men where she had to fix up their teeth and do all this to try to, be with them. And end of the day, they just didn't want her. It almost reminds me of Kenya Moore. Same thing with Kenya. You got Walter. You got all these people that really didn't want you because you want to save face because you want to have a man. And at the end of the day, I don't think Vicky was fooled by this man about what it was. Like you said, it was over. She didn't want to accept that it was over.
Right. I don't think he's a bad guy at all. He was probably very honest with her. Vicky, I'm not into this. I don't want to get married to you. He did the right thing. He broke, he said, why even go through this marriage? I didn't even buy this ring for you. You bought it. Like, I think her pushing the issue is what pushed him away. I think if she wouldn't have pushed the whole marriage issue, they might be, I don't know. I thought that was her forever person, but I'm
going to switch this up for a second too. There's one thing that I want to celebrate here, and before we move on to our last legal update, this woman right here, who I love Lisa Vanderpump. We obviously know that she was in a tragic horse accident, and when she was, she got thrown off the horse and she fractured her leg in 4 different spots. But she has been seen since. She went through surgery. She's back in the saddle of life, as she calls it. And it just made me happy. And I like to talk about happy news on top of like the crazy, ridiculous shit that we have to talk about. But also I want to talk about this too, because this came out and I want to know if you guys think this is true. Guys, almost 600 people in the room. I am going to pin a link here in a moment to our live for Real Housewives of Miami that we're doing at 11. So we're doing that. And what time is it?
It is 10:35.
10:35. Okay, so we're doing that in 25 minutes. So we have time. We have time to play. Okay. So I'm going to bring this up really quick. And I want to know if you guys think this is true, and if Bravo was in fact protecting the DeBros. It's also alleged that Nicole James, we remember Nicole, the one who they were saying looks like Pamela Anderson on this season, won her case against Terry DeBro and actually got a huge payout. Bravo is protecting the DeBros because they make money off of his botched show and any products launched on the show. Okay. Do you think that this is a rumor, or do you think that that is true?
Wasn't it established as true on the show? Like,
it was.
No, she said on the show that she was forced into it.
It was dropped.
Oh, right.
She did get
she said that she was forced into it. She didn't think that he did anything wrong, and so she dropped it, but her lawyers forced her into it. So if she did, then what? Wait, hold on. How would Terry not recognize her when he came in and asked her about the lawsuit? Like they're doing this much acting, like this much acting that she pretended to not tell her for 6 years. Like, why wouldn't it be easier for them to just be like, yeah, we know? Like, why would they go through the thing? Like, why would they go through setting up her not telling her about this whole lawsuit happening in the first place for the first 5-6 years of her and the girl's friendship?
Right.
Like,
I could have sworn they said it's settled.
I don't think there was a real friendship though between Heather Dubrow and Nicole James. I think that Nicole got casted, and she probably because
Well,
like, even when I did the Vanderpump
I thought
Rules
she said
interview,
she knew each other.
they'll ask you, like when I sat down in the chair for Vanderpump Rules, they went through every single cast member and asked if I know them, how I would be affiliated with them. Do I see them outside? Have I ever had any altercations or run-ins with them? Do I have any dirt on them? They ask you about every single person. So if Nicole sat in that chair and said, yeah, I know Heather Dubrow, I was in a lawsuit with her husband, boom. They're like, okay, you're beautiful, you have the lifestyle, and you were in a lawsuit with the Dubrows. Oh, we're bringing you on because this is going to be good.
Right. But both of them said that they've known each other for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, but I feel like as acquaintances.
Nicole said that she never told her about the lawsuit. I mean, sure, but why so? But you set it up and you said it on camera, so now we're here to speculate on it because you said it. So if it wasn't true, then just don't say it. Yeah, why use a fake storyline if you don't want us to debunk it later on? Like, you already said it now, so now I got to talk about it because it's a part of your story. Now, y'all said y'all knew each other for 5 or 6 years. Now you want to go back and say, well, that was just for the show, and expect us not to look at you crazy.
No, somebody just made the good point about, we just found out about her dating Jim Bellino 2 years ago, 2018, who was also suing
Tamara and Shannon.
Right. I mean, I don't know if it's, see, like, what are they saying now, that this is not even true, that the botched thing didn't even happen? Or
no, they're saying that it wasn't thrown out, that she actually won the lawsuit against Terry Dubrow, and that NBC and the umbrella, because NBC has E and Bravo, that since they have botched and they have they get a percentage allegedly of some of the products and businesses that are associated with botched, that NBC wanted to take control over the narrative and protect the Dubrows. So what they did was had Terry Dubrow address it. They're pretty much saying that producers went upstairs, talked to Terry, had him come down and film with Nicole and say, oh yeah, you're that Nicole. Yeah, that got thrown out. It was a complete misconception.
That's a lot of work to cover up something that, like, I'm sure,
when
like they said,
about
people get
millions
sued
of
all the
dollars,
time.
people will put in the work. That's a lot of work to cover it up. We've just talked about Tom Girardi having a 30-year cover up.
Yeah, but this is just like, I mean,
for a girl who isn't even on
it's not the first, like you said, people get sued all the time.
Right.
It's like people, I mean, like, I don't think he would, the cover up, I mean, even if it's, I don't know. I don't think they did go through all that to cover up this, because I'm sure it's not the first time he's been sued.
When they sat down, when Terry and Heather came to that room and sat down with her, that was such a cringy, awkward.
It was
like,
so awkward.
in episode. That was like that whole encounter was so cringy, and
Nicole,
maybe it was cringy because of what Adam just said. Maybe the producers did rush upstairs and they were trying to just orchestrate a story to protect the botch guy. You know, it could be. It could be. You never know, because Bravo is in the habit of protecting who they want to protect and driving narratives for who they want to drive them for.
I mean, Andy Cohen just asked us to apologize to Erika.
Right.
I mean, a simple Google search and background check will tell us if this lawsuit was
ignorant ass comment.
I mean, if they're going to lie, they're not going to lie about something we can find the proof of.
Yeah, it was staged. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think
stupid comment.
I don't think that the lawsuit went through. I mean, we could easily find out, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I thought the girl looked more like Emily than Pamela Anderson.
Yes,
I just don't understand the point of setting up this entire backstory, this entire friendship, them knowing each other this long, setting up the whole cover up for Heather not to put more effort into keeping her on the show. She disappeared out of nowhere and we haven't seen her since. So it's like interesting to me that they would go through all of that and Heather would bring her on the show just to let her walk off 2 weeks later. Like, it just does, like, that just doesn't make sense to me. It just seems like and when he came in the room, he said, well, doctors get sued all the time, so it's really not a big deal. So if she would have won, like, it's like, dude, like, doctors get sued all the time, right? You said it out of your mouth, like
but maybe NBC
seems like a lot of contradictory setup for no real outcome.
Job.
Well, then NBC's going to look like liars when we find out that they covered.
They should have vetted him before they did the show.
Okay.
They're going to lie about. They're going to cover something up that we could find out the truth and make themselves look even worse when it's really not that serious.
Okay. So what I read and what I understood was that it was settled and she got a settlement. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but doctors' malpractice insurance is astronomically high. That's why a lot of doctors, like back about 10 years ago, just went ahead and retired because their malpractice insurance is so high. So you got to understand that if she won a settlement, it doesn't mean that it came out of the DeBros bank account. Their insurance paid for that.
Right.
So it's not like they're going to really like hold this whole long grudge against the girl, because it's not like it came out of their pockets.
But
now,
I don't think that.
I do think that probably when, like Adam said, when they set her down, they found out, ooh, and you got a settlement? Okay, I want to put that on the show. But then again,
that's not what
they do have botched, you know what I'm saying? And they do have, support their skincare line and all of this kind of stuff. So it's probably not a good look the way it sounds, because most people think, oh, they got sued. Oh, that means the DeBros paid them all this money. And really, it's not that big of a deal. And they do get sued all the time. Right. Oh, he did a breast job and one boob is higher than the other. Insurance, go ahead and pay him out. It's not, you know what I'm saying? So it's not.
So why
really
set
that
up
big
this
of a deal.
entire scene to fake them allegedly not know? Like, she sat there on the show and said that I dismissed it because I didn't think that you did anything wrong. I was forced into it, blah, blah, blah. Why not just sit here and say that instead of faking this whole scene of them not knowing, her saying that she's been friends with Heather for 6 years and she never told her about the lawsuit? Why go through all that if they could have just sat down and been like, okay, well, it's not a big deal. Our insurance paid for it. It happens. Like blah 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 blah. Because he clearly remembered who she was. So like, it is like, to me, I don't see the purpose of them going through all of the trouble to set up this fake narrative with this anti-climactic outcome. She's nowhere to be seen. Like, why go through all of that?
They said, though, also that it wasn't Nicole who, Nicole and Heather, Nicole didn't actually leave the show because of Heather. Nicole left the show and didn't go to Cabo because she got into a fight with production. And I'm wondering, only because if you guys remember, this is just my experience watching how Bravo has navigated some of these situations. I was at Sir, if you guys remember Vanderpump Rules, when they brought in the Miami girl, and the Miami girl was brought in to call out Tom Sandoval and say, you cheated with me on your girlfriend. We had sex. You were there. And producers mic'd her up and they're like, go in there, tell your story. And they flew her from Miami. They completely told her it was going to be one thing. And I remember her standing outside and screaming at producers, crying after Tom ran out of the restaurant. And she's like, you guys made me look like an idiot because you wanted to make him look like he didn't do anything wrong and it to benefit him. So you guys told me that I was going to come in and be vindicated, and that's not what happened. And I think for Nicole, this is all speculation, but I feel like if they asked her about it and she said, yeah, well, we were in a brief lawsuit, whatever, she probably didn't anticipate it coming up, but producers probably planted the seed with Shannon, had Shannon bring it up, and then all of a sudden Gina's talking about it, brings it up at Heather Dubrow's house. Then Nicole is blindsided with, oh, I talked about that in my interview, but I never thought it would be a storyline. And then she gets called out. Producers are like, listen, we're going to have you guys fix this really quick because we have botched. You're not the doctor who botches people. You're the one who fixes botched jobs. So we're going to save your reputation. And then after that, they probably wanted something else from Nicole. And then Nicole probably flipped out on production saying, no, this is bullshit. You guys knew about the lawsuit. You tainted me in one way already. You're not going to keep doing me like this. And she probably was like, I'm going to walk.
Why
I'm
set
done.
all that up when they know they're going to protect Like, why set all that up when they know that they're going to protect Terry because he has botched? He had botched when she did the interview and said that she sued him. So if they knew that they were eventually going to have to protect him because of the NBC brand, then why even set that up just to squash her with it in the first place? Like,
maybe because they knew that Shannon was going to introduce the storyline.
And it gets Shannon and Heather fighting. So maybe it was the long game, not the short game. And trust me, these producers, they have a job to do, and they have to have a storyline going into every season. Even Portia has said this before.
Okay, so my question is, stuff like this public knowledge?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, could we look this lawsuit up and see that she got a payout?
I'm calling Emily
or that it was settled out of court?
Yes.
Can we do that? Because if we can look this up and see that it was settled out of court, she got a settlement, blah blah blah. However, it was settled, then I don't see the whole point of them
Right.
setting up this whole fake thing of them acting like they didn't know it when we can look it up.
Right.
That's what
But
I'm
then
saying.
you
Like
think
it just
you think
doesn't
why
make any
go
sense.
in
It
for like
sounds
the
so
dramatics
stupid.
of it all, right? You think why go in for the dramatics of it all? But then
When
we
you could
also
just
had one of the dumbest
y'all
storylines ever where the girl broke the piece of bow off of Heather's cake and they're like,
Oh yeah, that one.
And it's like,
That
are they
one.
But
just
you
trying
set
to?
the bros up to be the deities of the season. Like they're supposed to be the Captain Save-A-Hoes who are supposed to come in and change everything on on Orange County. So
Really?
why not just make them put them on an even higher pedestal and be like, yeah, we had the lawsuit, but it was there, it happened, da 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 da. We
One,
settled it, and we're still friends. Oh well, like that would make them look better. Why go through all this for it to be debunked because we can look it up online? It just
and all
seems
they're
so
trying to do.
counterproductive to the point of having them come back and save the show.
The whole
I
point is
agree.
they're just trying to say that he botched the surgery. Okay, I'm sure it's public opinion whether it was botched or what she didn't like or not. There's probably nobody. If they're trying to just say it's because he's a botch, he's on botch and he did a botched surgery how many years ago. It's probably opinion on whether it was botched or not, whether it went away or whatever. I'm sure it's not. That's one bad thing that they say about Terry DeBro after how many 25 years of him being a surgeon. I really don't think that is going to be them trying to make him look like he's a horrible surgeon. He's on botch, but he botched her this many years ago. That's not going to hold much water. Nobody's really going to take much. It's
Right.
it happens
But
a
it's
lot.
Housewives.
Right.
You know that it can go there, and somebody can turn a molehill into a mountain. So somebody could take that and be like, well, how many more people has he botched? How many more people has he paid off that aren't speaking? Who else can we find to come and say that he botched her 10 years ago? Like y'all can take that small thing and turn it into 10 other cases that we don't even know about. So why set them up for that
That's what I'm saying, man.
if y'all could have just made them look better? Like that just does not make any sense to me.
Listen, I agree with you on this one. Oh, my brother's calling me. I agree with you on this one. I'm going to read the super chat really quick, and I'm going to bring something up to switch up the topic. Vero said, hi, Adam. I've been watching your videos since last August. I love you in the panel. I want to call in so many times, but I have CP, so my speech is not good, and the chat is too fast. Love from Canada. Oh, no. You can always feel comfortable.
I have a whole stutter, babe. Call in.
I'll zip in my mouth.
Call in. Yeah, we love it.
And then also, I want to bring these up because we are about to go live on Jason's channel and do the Miami recap. Who did we just? Oh, Bad and Bougie.
Bougie.
Hi, Philly Diva.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Okay.
Amy.
I'm going to bring these up really quick because Alexia was talking about this. And, you know, I do love Miami, and I think that they're doing a great job with this reboot. She said, it's something I always wanted to do, so there was no way that they were doing a comeback and I wasn't going to be there. I was always super ready. We've all been ready. You missed so much of our lives in 8 years, so we all felt very excited to come back. Okay, but then there was another one, and it said, hold on, here it is. It said, the only person I know 100% has my back is Marisol, and she feels the same way about me. Gertie, I love her energy. I needed somebody just like her. And Nicole, we had a lot of friends in common. We had lunch before we all got together. And Julia, I knew of, but I didn't know her. She's the only one I really didn't know. But you know, everyone knows Martina, who is Julia's wife. I was always friendly with Larsa. She moved to LA and Chicago before that, after season 1, but we always kept in touch. She would always text me when she was in Miami. We had a lot of friends in common. I'm super happy she's back. I believed if the show was back and she was in Miami that she would be a part of it. So before we jump into our recap for Miami, I do want to ask all of you, are we watching? Do we like the reboot? Are we into it? And do you think, because Dana Wilkie, I had a conversation with her and she said, Adam, have you seen the ratings for Miami? They're shit. But I was like, Dana, you have to remember too, one, it's a streaming service, so people have to pay for it. They have never had to pay to get their housewives. And eventually they're going to start moving all of these different shows, just like Below Deck Down Under. They're moving them to Peacock. And I feel like streaming will be the future of all of these shows anyways. They're just getting a slow, like, introducing us. So it's not just like Whiplash and Shock. So the ratings, of course, are going to be different as opposed to people being able to watch it every night at 8 p.m. for free. But now with that,
I would love to hear her opinion once they dual broadcast it on Bravo, because I'm sure that they're gonna do just like they did the girls trip and probably re-air it on Bravo for the
Oh, they
ratings.
will.
So I would love to hear her opinion and just see what the
Mhm.
ratings will be then, because the actual season has been incredible. Like, the
Right.
Yes, it
season
But
has
really
then
has.
you
been
can
great.
go.
So imagine when the general Bravo audience gets to see this. Like, they're gonna be like, why is this not on
But
Bravo?
then,
Yes.
Jordan, I don't think that's going to even, the ratings won't be the same. And that's not even fair, because now Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip is playing after New Jersey, and they're playing the new episodes. And
Mhm.
I've already watched them all on Peacock. So when it comes up,
Right.
not only am I not watching that, but I'm not waiting for Watch What Happens Live after that. I'm like, no, I've already seen that. So I don't want to watch it, which I'm sure affects the ratings, because I'm
But
not
think
the
about the
only person.
ratio of people who but think about the ratio of people who paid for Peacock to see that, and the people who didn't.
But
Right.
Peacock's
There's so
free
many
with
more
the
people who
commercials.
haven't
You guys,
seen the show yet and have only seen clips or have seen your recaps of the show, and they haven't seen it yet. So they probably heard about the show, but they haven't seen it. I guarantee you that
a lot
the show
more
is probably
ratings.
way more people who are just like, well, I'm not paying for another streaming service, boo. I'm
Right.
sorry. Like, if
Yeah,
they air
I'm
it on
not paying
Bravo,
for
then I'll catch
Peacock.
it.
A lot of
Can I
people get it from their from their cable provider. So think
Hmm.
about the people who, they aren't getting it from cable. They're getting the basic channels, or they don't have, they watch streaming. So it's just various ways without getting the Comcast, because I get it through my dad's Comcast, but some people who get it, through whatever other smaller cable subsidiaries that they have, they aren't getting those channels. So now you open the market to a completely different area. So I think it'll be a great idea. And I think what they're doing on Peacock, these are all experimental.
Hmm.
You have original programming that is like Netflix and your Hulus that you're paid for streaming. But what you have is new programming that you're used to getting for free.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you
But
get the double dip. You get the streaming dollars, the immediate views, and then you also get the new views. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not watching it. Some of you guys aren't watching it. We lived that life already. But there are
right.
people who absolutely loved, adored, worshipped that whole, concept of these all stars on a trip, and will watch it again.
Reruns and
So
residuals.
let's not say that, they're not, because I think there are people that are absolutely going to watch it again. Bravo is really smart for double dipping, and what it is, they tried it with the with Below Deck, so you can watch the Below Deck on Peacock the next day.
Right.
So
Please, Claire, go ahead. Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry. They're just, they're starting these little nuggets, shall you say, to switch up the streaming service to see what works for their customers.
By the way, I know that too. I haven't watched this, but I saw last night because I was watching Peacock. And this has nothing to do with Bravo.
Good.
I'm so excited about watching this. This is what I'm going to be binging this weekend.
Yes.
Larger, you said it's
So
good.
good. Oh my
Yes.
God. Me and husband binged that till 1 o'clock
Bel
in the
Air
morning
is going
last
to be.
night. It was
Did you guys lose me?
I'm one of those people who just
So
realized
good.
that I had
what's going
Peacock
on?
with my in-laws cable package, so I binged it. Oh,
Is it good?
It's so good, right, Georgia? Oh my God.
I can't hear you.
But
it is
Georgia,
so-
were you like, where's the song? Where's the song?
We wanted the song, we all did, but I wanted like a dark, edgy remixed
It was
version of
so
it to fit
good.
the mood of the show.
Oh
And
my God.
it's just, it's so
That's
good.
what they gave us?
This concept for this show for a reboot is I couldn't have imagined a better reboot, because they kind of are doing like the shadow side of the sitcom that we were used to. So it's giving us their real gritty, edgy side, the IRL
And I'm glad that they
side.
kept it to the
it was
creator's
so good.
original idea.
Oh,
Because
it was
y'all
so
can go back
good.
on Will Smith's YouTube channel a couple years ago. He did an interview with the guy who created this version of the show.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking about how he saw this like trailer, teaser, mini like sizzle version of it on his YouTube channel, and he found him and was like, this was amazing, I want to work with this and do this. So like that's how he got involved, and he brought it to life, and then 3 years later now we have Bel Air. I'm so glad they kept it the way
We
they
have
did.
to talk about this more.
Wait a minute, can I just say this as
Yes.
somebody, y'all can tell by my name, I love my city. I live my city. Like I love my city. And good, bad, and ugly it shows you everything.
Yeah.
It shows you the culture of Philly. I love that the first episode is just very much West Philly today.
Yeah.
If you liked Atlanta, you will definitely like Bel Air.
Okay. Okay. So we're actually going to be coming back on. We're going live with Jason in 3 minutes on his channel for the Real Housewives of Miami recap. I am going to go ahead and close this off all here and start cutting us down. That way we can join Jason. 3 minutes, guys. I pinned it in the live chat. I'm going to start down at the bottom and make my way up. Larger Curbs, if they don't know, will you let them know where we can find you?
Well, when I'm not here on your channel, Adam, when you let me up, I'm on Larger Curves in these YouTube streets, on TikTok and on Instagram, and largercurves.com.
All right. Larger Curves, hopefully we see you in the Miami
Yeah,
recap.
come to the Miami. I love Miami.
All right.
See y'all later.
Bye. All right. Philly Diva, if they don't know, will you let them know?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Kristen Dionne. That's KRISTNDIONNE, like the singer. And it's just a lot of fun. Adam, don't forget to watch that trailer of Wendy Williams that I sent you. I found the trailer for the movie. I sent it to you in your DMs.
The Robin Givens
definitely.
The Robin Givens trailer.
Philly Diva, I'm going to hit you up on DMs as soon as we get off of here.
Okay.
Right.
You are close
Philly
to
Diva,
me, right?
thank you. All right. Krista, if they don't know, and thank you for the super chat, Krista, and also RHO Alexa, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. We'll see you guys in the Miami recap in literally 2 minutes. Krista, will you let them know?
Okay. Well, this is a thing. In discussion of changing back my channel name, it's either that Reality with Krista Marie. I was still missing Harsh Reality, so I'm kind of incorporating that. But so that real quick, if I change my name, everything will still stay the same, right? Analytics and all that.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. But yeah. So yeah, just find me there. I'm gonna try to keep this this name for good.
All right, guys. Make sure to check out Krista Marie at Reality with Krista Marie, and thank you, Krista. We'll see you on Miami.
See you. Miami.
All right, and guys, Miami is up in 1 minute. Jordan, will you let us know?
Rapid speed. If you don't know where, you can find me at Georgia, Carolina, your gated and racism-free community where we personalize culture and entertainment and then curate a conversation that's based in self-discovery and growth. I am your pop culture coordinator of all things inclusion and awareness, Jordan Renee, and I invite you to come take a ride and have a seat with me. Mwah.
Whoa. All right, Jordan, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and hopefully we see you on Down with Jason. All right. Bye. All right, guys, thank you so much to all of our super chats, super stickers. Thank you to our amazing panel. Thank you to everyone in the live chat. Again, at the bottom, you see the banner. If you want your tickets for LA, Nashville, or New York, go to spillingtealive.com and join us on Jason's channel right now to recap the Real Housewives of Miami. Don't forget to smash that like button. Love you guys. Bye.